The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Jimbo and Bond take flight. 80s dreams on its delight. In the realm of black and white. Movies and TV flow through the stories we all know. Silver screen tales unfold in the magic they bestow. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most.
Coming soon. Jolting tales of horror. Creepshow. From the author of Carrie, The Shining, and Cujo. And the creator of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. You'll scream at ghastly ghouls. Cringe at weird kids. And shiver at the doings of evil doctors.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
Creepshow will grab you, grow on you, and give you the creeps.
No, this is going to be an entirely new experience.
Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.
All right. Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo, and I'm joined these days by my new co-host.
Hey, happy Halloween. This is Bond.
So Bond, once again, we were asked to come and be a part of the Hillbilly Horror Stories special Halloween episode. We have been doing that, man, it's been about 5 or 6 years now, ever since Jerry Pauly started that and asked us to be a part of that. Sadly, Jerry's no longer here. He had a big hole in a lot of hearts that it's hard to replace. But you know, for the honor of Jerry, we want to keep this thing alive and give people something to listen to. So I know he meant a lot to me, and I know he meant a lot to you. That's actually how you found my podcast, and now you're my co-host. So if you want to take a second to say some words.
I do, man. I am just so honored. I'm overwhelmed about being asked to be part of this Halloween show. It's like, listening to a program or watching a TV show for years, and then all of a sudden you're on the show. I'm overwhelmed with the fact that I get to be part of this annual tradition, the annual Halloween program. And shouts out to Tracy. Our hearts go with her. And if you are not following them on Facebook, if you're not following her on Facebook, I highly suggest you do. If you're not listening to the episodes, the classic episodes that are still being put out by Tim, you need to do that because it's just an amazing show, and she really could use the listens.
Yes, and she can always use the support and prayers. So what we have decided to cover tonight for the people, because Tim said, hey, Jerry always had a thing where it was only like, you could only have like 10 minutes. And Tim said, I'm going to take that away. He said, I want this to be bigger and badder, not badder, but bigger and better with as far as there's no time limit. So we're not going to rattle on for 2 or 3 hours, but we are going to cover like a regular episode that we do. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. And if you like what you hear, you can always follow us at the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. So Bond, would you like to tell the audience what movie we are covering for them for this Halloween special?
We're going to go back over 40 years. We're doing Creepshow. Creepshow is a 1982 American horror comedy anthology film. And it's directed by the legendary George Romero, written by the legendary Stephen King. This movie is amazing. Can you believe they got these two heavy hitters in to do this one, right? You have George Romero, man. I mean, come on, directed by the same guy that did Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
I mean, when you think about horror franchises and monsters, there is no Walking Dead without George Romero, without the Night of the Living Dead. And then screenplay by Stephen King. I mean, can you get bigger? Is there a bigger horror writer? Edgar Allan Poe, maybe?
Maybe.
But even that could be argued. But he does some of the stories for this one too. I think this movie is great. I can't wait to start getting into this one and talking about it. Yeah.
Right. So, Bond, without further ado, I was going to throw you a question. Well, okay, I'll throw you a question. Why not? We'll give everybody a little something extra special this Halloween.
Oh, no.
Bond, 2 questions. Number 1, what is your favorite all-time Halloween candy to get in your little bag when you used to go around trick-or-treating? And number 2, what is your favorite, what is your worst costume that you ever went for on Halloween?
First one's easy, man. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Come on. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yep.
First off, even as an adult, you go through your kids' bags, you take out all the chocolate, and you're like, I'm going to take all this chocolate off to the side. This one looks kind of suspicious. I don't like the way the Snicker bar looks.
Oh, look, there's a razor blade in this one. Daddy will have to take care and look at this.
That looks sharp. Okay, so why do they call it the fun size if it's like a third of the size of the normal candy bar?
I call that snack size.
That. Exactly. I'm like, how's this the fun size? Okay, so my family, second question. My mom was notoriously, I don't want to, cheap, frugal. I don't know what you want to say. Okay, so I'm a little older. I grew up in the classic age where Halloween costumes were like a plastic apron.
And the face mask with the rubber band.
And the face mask with the rubber band that would break 3 houses down.
Yes, absolutely.
And it just had like a little slit where it allowed you to breathe.
And your whole face would be just a puddle of sweat when you took that thing off. By the 4th house, number 1, the rubber band's broke. If it's not broke, you've got that thing pulled up to the top of your head. You're like, ding dong, trick or treat. Just give me the candy. Can't you see I'm suffering here, right?
You'd hold it up to your face.
Yeah.
What? The worst ones were the ones where like Scooby-Doo would have a Scooby-Doo face, right? But the plastic apron wasn't Scooby-Doo. It was like a picture of the group and maybe like the Mystery Machine. I'm like, how is that Scooby-Doo's stomach? You don't look like I wish I had that costume.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. One year, my mom took a chicken leg bone, right? And put it in my hair. And I have straight hair. I'm Japanese. I have straight hair. She tied it straight up, sticking straight up, and tied a chicken bone in my head and said, "You're a caveman." One year, I'm not kidding. One year, she wrapped me in toilet paper and said, "You're a mummy." By the 3rd house, the toilet paper had started coming up. It's humid in South Texas.
Wasn't 2-ply, I hope.
Are you kidding me? It's 100% humidity in Halloween in Corpus Christi. I'm Kate. People are, what are you supposed to be? Paper mache? No, I'm a mummy. I was like trailing for 3 blocks. I was crying. I was just so sad that year.
At least you had tissue to wipe your tears away with.
Yeah, exactly. What are you complaining about?
So is that your worst one you're saying? Was that your worst?
I still have nightmares about those two.
Oh, man.
What about you, man? What are you thinking?
Well, some of my favorite candy of all time has got to be the old Reese's Pieces, man. Because E.T. ate them. And me and E.T. are tight. Okay?
Nice.
So, me and Reese's Pieces. Man, I don't know. I was in the same era as you. I remember one time going as a pirate. Okay. And my parents didn't have a lot of money either, man. But I remember they painted on like a black beard with like mascara. And I had like one of those dollar store eye patches and a red bandana, like a pinstripe suit jacket. I don't know, but I was like a homeless pirate. It felt like. There's that one, and then my dad used to be a machinist, right, in a machine shop, and they did like, I don't know, some sort of like aqueduct work with. Anyway, basically he dumpster dove. Okay. And if I can find a picture, I will post this in the Hillbilly Horror Stories group for everybody to see. And basically it's like a rubber tube, a black tube with like the ripples down it. I'm inside of that. Oh, man. And I've got like, there was some like sort of, I don't know, like, like when you get like, the fiberglass stuff you put up in your attic and all that. There's there's the one side that has like the aluminum side.
Right. Right. The side that goes up against the wall.
Right. So I had some of this aluminum stuff. I don't know if they were my arms. I can't remember, but they were like corrugated with like they had like the ripples on them. So you could like a dryer vent where you could.
Right.
Those were my arms.
Oh. So were you a slinky? What were you going as?
I had slinky arms, I think. My dad's going to hear this and he's going to be like, no, that's what it was. You were cool. And then I had some sort of like helmet over my head. I don't know if it was a trash can lid. I can't remember. And then I had like a gun I was carrying out. It was supposed to be some sort of alien robot Martian or something. So I don't know if that was my favorite or my worst one, but when I show you the picture, you guys are going to be like, what is this guy wearing?
I encourage all parents to stop buying their Halloween costumes on Amazon. Start making
the memories.
Make the costumes.
Make the memories, because here's two almost 50-year-old guys talking about stuff that happened when we were kids, and guess what? It's a memory. It unlocks a memory, right? You don't have to have a lot of money.
What's the memory of opening the Amazon box and putting on the costume?
And then I think it might have been the same year I was the pirate, or the same year I was that contraption. My sister, they dressed her up as a witch. She looked like the Wicked Witch of the West, and she was so scared when she looked in the mirror, she started crying. She's littler, and her makeup is just the green makeup just all running. Like, I was like, you're going to melt yourself.
It's melting.
All right, enough about Halloween memories. Let's go ahead and jump into Creepshow.
Creepshow. Okay, so it's an anthology, right? So there's like a story that wraps all the other stories around it.
Yep.
Right. They have like this little prologue. Billy Hopkins, it's a young boy, and he's got the Creepshow comic book. His dad yells at him. Yeah, his dad yells at him, says, get that trash out of my house, and throws it in the garbage. And Billy's pretty upset.
I like what he tells his dad. He goes, it's no different than you reading Penthouse. That's whatever he tells him. Dirty magazines, I think he says, don't he?
So how cool is this? How cool is the Creepshow comic book?
Man, I think I had some of those.
I think I might. I know I have some of those. I know it's all based on like those old EC comics. The Vault of Horror. Yeah, the House of Mysteries. One
like strange tales or something like that?
Yeah, there's Strange Tales. There was a bunch of those, and that's actually Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, all of those like Tales from the Crypt, right?
Yep.
All of those classic comic books, and so that's kind of what this whole premise is based on. This whole premise of this comic book is filled with those classic little short stories. They actually brought those back about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They started republishing some of those with brand new stories mixed with the classic stories.
Love it.
Yeah, those are actually the comic books that started getting Congress upset.
Oh, yeah.
The reason there was like a comic code was because these things were getting so bloody and so scary and so gory that parents were complaining. And then the government had to come in and through the seduction of the innocent, trials and things like that. That's why they started putting warnings on comic books.
Well, they did that with the video games too. Remember the whole, I think it was Mortal Kombat when it first came out with the fatalities. I remember that going big. And then Grand Theft Autos, it just kept going.
So this one right here, it's based on the Creepshow comic book. It's kind of a fictional comic book, but it's based on those same ideas. And our first story is the story Father's Day. What'd you think about our first story, Father's Day?
I actually liked it.
Really, you like this one?
I
Okay.
do.
I thought it was
Bond
the weakest
just wants
one.
his cake.
I thought it was the weakest one. I was like, oh man, this one's just not good. It's got a bunch of people in it. The only person that stuck out to me in this one was Ed Harris.
Yep.
Famous actor Ed Harris, who
Ed
plays
Harris.
Hank Blaine. Yeah. Ed Harris, you know him from Apollo 13 and a bunch of other movies, but Apollo 13 is one that stuck out to me. And yeah, it's all about Grandpa wants his cake back and he comes back from the dead. I love the special effects in this one.
Oh, that's
The
what I'm
makeup
saying.
effects.
Right.
The makeup effects. When I was I was young, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a makeup effects artist.
Well, you do know who was doing the makeups for this, right?
Who was doing the makeup for this one?
Tom Savini.
Ooh. Yeah, he's a big one, man. He's a classic, right? He's a OG. But didn't he work with George Romero on Night of the Living Dead too?
Yep. He's
Okay.
like the king of practical effects, dude.
He is, man. And so when I saw the monsters and the creatures, and just even from this very first story, Father's Day, it creeped me out. I mean, it's called Creepshow. It creeped me out.
And
Yeah.
this one probably has the best kill of the whole anthology in it.
Okay, how do you figure that?
That's the one where the is it the mother goes
Okay.
into the kitchen looking, and she goes in there and screams at the window or whatever and turns around, and he's standing there and he takes her head and he just twists it backwards, dude.
Oh, that's right.
Snap,
Ooh.
crackle, pop.
Oh, that was so bad.
He
That was
just
so
wants his
bad.
cake.
Yeah, he just wants his cake. And I love it. To me, it takes a little getting used to, but I kind of love the over comic booky colors that they use when someone dies.
Not just that, I like how they put it it in like the comic book frame. And
yeah,
I
that's what I was gonna
also
say, the way they frame it. Yeah.
And I also really like how it'll be a still picture in the comic book, and then they fade it into a real life action scene.
when they fade,
or
when they fade into the story,
yeah, like at the beginning,
out.
right at the beginning of the story or at the end of the story, it's like a comic book panel, and all of a sudden it just keeps going zooming in, and then it clicks over to real life, and at the end, the final scene, it does the same thing, stops, and then it fades back out of the comic book. I think it's really well done.
Me too, and I think they the way they frame it,
Yep.
where it looks like a comic book, even while you're watching the live action stuff. Sometimes they frame 2 or 3 things happening at the same time, and they'll frame it to look like a comic book. If you ever watch the first Incredible Hulk movie,
Yep.
they do the same thing. Ann Lang, I think, does the same thing with that one. Kind of frames it the same way, man. I personally, to me, this was the weakest one, man. It wasn't that scary.
Well, I don't
It
think
wasn't
any
that
of them
scary.
are really scary.
What?
You think
Okay,
they
we'll
are?
get to that. Oh, okay.
Maybe
Now
the
you're in
last
trouble.
one. I bet the last
Now
one
you're
really
in
freaked you
trouble.
out, didn't it?
No, I'll tell you which one. Oh man, I can't believe you said that. Not scary. Come on. All right. So our next anthology story goes to The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill.
Oh, poor
And
Stephen King.
This is Stephen King at his finest? I don't think so. I
Oh
don't
no,
think so.
terrible. This might be the worst one of the group.
I have to agree. This one's, and I guess it's because Stephen King's not an actor.
You can't say that. You just said the first one was the worst one.
The first one's the worst one.
No, this one's
one-
way worse.
This one's pretty bad. But okay.
I like at the beginning when he finds the meteor and
Uh-huh.
he starts hallucinating like, oh, I'm gonna be rich or whatever. And he goes and has like these flash dreams or whatever of him going to like the guy, the researcher, be like, oh, here, how about $10,000? He's like, what? He's like, all right, how about $50,000?
A meteor crashes. Yeah, a meteor crashes. He goes out there. He kind of pokes it with a stick. He ends up getting the meteor goo all over him. Oh man! And what is he? Does he live in a? He just lives in a house out in the middle of nowhere.
That's
like
what
a
it looked
farm.
like. Yeah.
I mean, now by the end it looks like a swamp, but at the beginning he's just lives out in the middle of nowhere. It's just a farm. And yeah, he gets that stuff on him, and it just starts to spread and spread. It's so funny because he sticks his fingers in his mouth. He's got like the green moss on his fingers. He goes, ah, like he puts it in his mouth.
And he's got like, he starts off with those like little, looks like pimples or mosquito bites on his fingers too. Remember?
That's true. That's true. He, Yeah, he goes to the Department of Meteors in his dream. That's what it the Department of Meteors. That's how he gets paid. Gets paid in his fantasy there. But yeah, his fingers have like grass on it, moss on it. I don't know. And it starts to grow. And not only that, but it grows on everything. Anything he touches, it grows. Right? He he grabs his beer. It's growing on his beer cans. It's growing on his lazy boy chair. It's growing on everything. It just overcomes. He mixes like a bottle of vodka and orange juice together. Right? And it's all, oh man, it covers him up.
You know what the best part of this episode was, or this part of the anthology was on TV. They actually had, back in the day, wrestling where Bob Backlund took on Alpha Anoa in the WWE, and Vince McMahon's dad was on commentary for that. How about that?
Okay, so the second I saw that he was watching wrestling, I knew you would know who was wrestling.
Of course I know who Rose.
I saw that. I was like, I guarantee Jimbo knows who those wrestlers are.
Of course.
And exactly what match that was.
You want to know the date that it actually happened?
I would love it.
April 21st, 1980.
Man, so that's not bad. He was watching some good stuff. So he's out there watching wrestling. He gets overcome with this. What? Okay, so why does he get in the tub?
Does he think he's going to wash it off?
I was like, I don't know if it was like itching so much because he gets in the tub. He runs a bath. He gets in the tub. He's like,
But remember, there's somebody in the mirror that says, "You going to get in that tub?" Like, don't get in that tub or whatever. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he starts freaking out, hallucinating. I think so.
But I mean, this is where there's some really bad special effects where he's naked, but he's got like the V-shaped green on his chest or whatever. You know,
he's got grass growing out of his beard, or like he's got like a grass beard going on. Right? It is. It's like the ghost of his dad tells him not to. I don't know. Well, he ends up in the corner. They like cut to the next day. The next day, the whole entire house is covered. The TV still works.
Yep.
The TV is still on, but it's covered in moss. The whole house is covered in grass. It actually looks pretty nice.
It does. It does look pretty good once they're done.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then you find Jordy, and he's in the corner.
He's completely covered.
Completely covered. He looks like the Swamp Thing kind of thing.
Yep.
And he's got a shotgun. And he
says something like, "Please let it work just this one time," or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I love like his voice, and that was all
like marbles in his mouth.
Yeah. And so he shoots himself, man. The TV weather forecaster announces moderate temperature and heavy rains, and predicts that as he is predicting that, you see the plants growing down the road, and they're growing on the telephone wires and stuff.
Did you notice the road sign at the end of that one?
What does it say?
Well, it's got three. You know how it's one of those things that has like three different directions.
Oh, three directions. Yeah.
One of them says Castle Rock.
Oh, I did notice Castle Rock. Yes.
And there's two other ones on there. I think one of them is either where he lives, Stephen King lives, or
like Bangor.
Yeah. And then the other one is like where he went to college or something. I think is something like that.
Yeah. For those listeners that don't know, he is from Bangor, Maine. And Castle Rock, if you've read or seen anything from Stephen King, you know that Castle Rock's one of his favorite fictional towns that he likes to use.
Yep.
In fact, I think that's the name of like the company that produces his movies, right? Is it Castle Rock Entertainment?
Well, there's even that TV show called Castle Rock that incorporates several of the stories, characters together too.
Yeah. So that's like a little Easter egg for those Stephen King fans out there that'll see that and go, look, it says Castle Rock.
I didn't see Stephen King. I seen Richard Bachman.
Oh, shame on you. Shame on you. That one's pretty bad. So at this point, you're thinking, can we get back to the kid who lost his comic book? That seems to be the most entertaining story so far. Yeah. Because Father's Day, not a fan. You like that one. I'm not a fan. The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. Both of us are like, oh, not really too much on that one. But now, if you were just about to turn it off, don't, because I guarantee this is Jimbo's favorite one.
You are wrong.
What?
Yes, you are wrong.
Our next part of the anthology is Something to Tide You Over. It stars Leslie Nielsen.
Yep.
And how great is Leslie Nielsen in this one?
He's pretty good. How about Ted Danson?
He is so mean. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen, of course. We know him from Naked Gun, Poseidon Adventure, all of those. It's got Ted Danson from Cheers in there. This is just a big one. And it's got, well, I'll get to that in a little bit. This one is about Leslie Nielsen finds out that Ted Danson's character, Harry, has been sleeping with his wife. So he's got a plan. He's got himself a plan. His plan is to take Ted Danson's character, Harry, and his wife, who's been cheating on him, and he takes them out to the beach. He takes them out to the beach. He takes and he puts them in a hole up to their neck and lets the tide slowly roll in. Just slow as the, and my favorite's the little crab. Did you see the little crab?
The little crab that's right by his head. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that little crab. This one haunted me as a kid. It still creeps me out today. Two reasons. One,
you can't swim.
No, I could swim.
Oh.
But it's just dark. This one's so dark and creepy. This one's so bad that it haunts me. I'm like, so the tide's just going to come in and he's just going to drown like slowly.
Well, that's not the worst part. The worst part is there's a VCR set up with a television screen and you can see the lady and you can actually see the tide coming in on her and she's, I was like, oh man.
Leslie Nielsen says, if you get in the hole, I'll let you see Becky again. And he goes, okay. So he goes and he like follows him to the beach and gets in the hole. And he goes, here you go. Here's Becky. And like puts out a little TV and she's further up the beach.
Yeah.
So she's further. So the water's already hitting her in the face. Every time the waves come in, it hits her in the face.
Now, Bond, let me ask you a question about this. She's further up the beach, but how long do you think she's been buried in the sand before Ted Danson gets buried in the sand? Do you think the tide would have already came in and out?
I'm thinking so because, I mean, either that or Leslie Nielsen's like part meteorologist or something, or oceanographer. Because
astrologist.
How would he know the amount of time it takes to go find Ted Danson's character Harry and capture him, take him to the beach, put him in a hole, bury him? Because Leslie Nielsen's not a young man.
No,
it's going to take him a while to fill in that dirt or fill in that sand.
Well, but you got to remember, he wasn't the one putting the sand in. Doesn't he say cover yourself up? So Ted Danson was doing all the work. And
he kneels. He tells him to get down in the hole and kneel down because it's not that deep. It's only like, let's say 3 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's not that much. And then, he has Ted Danson fill in most of the sand around him and he kind of just packs it in. But I'm thinking he's going to need at least an hour between tides, between, Becky's tide and Harry's tide. So he must know what time the tide comes in on this part of the beach compared to down the beach a little bit more. The tide doesn't come in for another hour or so. So he's got some time. But while that might be the most disturbing part of that one, of that story, I don't think it's the scariest part. The scariest part is when Leslie Nielsen goes back home, pours himself a drink, and decides to watch them drown.
Yep.
Decides to watch Ted Danson's character drown.
Did you happen to notice his necklace in this episode? It was like,
what is it?
I don't know. It was like it looked almost like 2 crab claws going down into like a single stick or something. It was pretty interesting prop piece.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. But what really scared me, it scared me this week when I watched it. It scared me back when I was a kid and I watched it. When Harry and Becky come back to get Leslie Nielsen's kid, right? They come to get Richard. That's his name, Richard. They come, they're all, Richard, and they have like this underwatery voice.
Yep. And Leslie Nielsen goes to take a shower or something, remember? But what people don't know is he actually has like, I don't know, what is it, 6 to 8 TV monitors set up in his house where he can watch different aspects of his house and the beach and all that. And
that's true. He's got a full surround.
What I really liked, and I don't know if you caught this, did you happen to notice when he goes over to the desk and he opens up the desk or whatever, and he's going through his list of VHS tapes. He's like, he's looking for the VHS tape. I said, man, does this not bring back memories? People today don't understand, if you weren't around back then, what it meant to hunt down that one VHS. My dad used to have us label what was on there, ABC Sunday Night Movie, The Thing, or whatever,
I know. I used to have one, I used to have one VCR cassette that had DC Cab and Dr. Detroit on the same cassette. I wore that little sucker out.
If you didn't have it in SP and you went to the EP, you could get 3 movies on one VHS tape.
Yeah, you could, right? You could squeeze 3 on there, man. He's enjoying himself. Like you said, he's about to take a bath, and Ted Danson's character comes in with his wife, and they're all gurgly, covered in seaweed, blue and green there. And I think what the special effects artist did on this one that made it really good was they were kind of bloated.
Yep.
Right? They were bloated and pale and wrinkly. And just the images of those creatures coming back scared me.
Did it freak you out that it didn't show them coming to the house? It just showed a fog roll in.
Yeah, that's so creepy, man. That is so good. And so I'm really surprised that this is not your favorite one, man. I know you're a big Leslie Nielsen fan. And I just thought as I was watching this, that this has to be your favorite one. But
actually,
it's not, huh?
The next one is my favorite one.
Oh, and that's why we podcast together.
With Fluffy.
That's why we podcast together, man, because my favorite one as a kid and my favorite one today is still The Crate.
Yep.
Right? Our 4th story in our anthology of Creepshow is The Crate. This one has Hal Holbrook as Henry Northrop, right? Hal Holbrook, you know him, right? He's got, actually, he's real famous for playing Mark Twain, right? But he was also in Wall Street, The Firm, All the President's Men. He was in those movies. He's great. Adrienne Barbeau is in this movie. And she's famous for Escape from New York. And I really think she's famous for Swamp Thing.
I think The Fog.
The Fog, I agree. Right. But this one is so good. So The Crate, what is this one about, Jimbo?
Well, Bond, since you asked, this, I don't know, what would you call him? I guess a teacher at this university, right? Him and his wife do not get along. I mean, that's a subplot of this story. And she's always yelling at him, saying, "What are you doing this? What are you doing this?" She's always downgrading, belittling him.
Oh, she's terrible.
Oh, ridiculous. And he's always having like it's playing, and then they're at this party or whatever, and he pulls out like a magnum and shoots her right in the head, and everybody's like starts giving the golf clap to him and all that. But then she's like, "What are you doing? Are you not paying attention? No, you can't do anything right."
Yeah, my name, you can call me Billy.
Yeah. I mean, she does this several times throughout the movie, and there's one where he just starts choking her or something.
He's got all of these like murder fantasies, man.
Yeah. But anyway, back at the university, there's this crate, I guess. And they don't know what's in it. And now, Bond, help me remember, because it's been a minute.
It's from like an Arctic expedition back in the 1930s.
Right. But did it just end up under the stairs or whatever in that little cove, or did they put it there?
I think they put it there, man, because he comes across a crate. It was shipped to the university, and they eventually just put it underneath the staircase. And
it's kind of like a little walk-in staircase, I would say.
Yeah, it's just been sitting there, and it's never been opened, and I don't know how whatever's inside is still inside, but it is.
Spoiler alert, there's something, Fluffy's inside.
Fluffy's inside. Okay. Inside this crate is an ape-like creature.
With sharp teeth.
With really sharp teeth. Really aggressive. Really bloody. He's a monster. There's a monster in the crate. Let's just say they put a monster in a crate. They put the crate underneath the staircase, and they should have told people not to open it.
Right.
And so what it comes down to is the professor has decided that he is tired of his wife. He's done with Billy. She's annoying. I don't know why they're married. She obviously doesn't like him. He doesn't like her, but this thing is killed. And so he decides that he's going to use this monster to kill his wife.
Right, but you might want to tell the people who got killed. Do you remember? There was like 2 assistants or something in there, remember?
There's 2 assistants, right? One gets killed. Now, did the janitor get killed too? Wasn't there a janitor that got killed?
I think he gets killed too. It's been a minute since I watched it, so you'll have to forgive me if I think so. But the one guy, doesn't he go back to the other guy's place and said, I did something horrible. We got in the crate, he killed this guy. And that's what gives the professor this idea that, hey, if he kills people, I can lure my wife. We can sweep it up, and nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, also like the crate like scrapes himself back underneath, right?
Yeah.
After this creature is killed, he actually scrapes himself back underneath the staircase because I guess he feels safe and secure underneath the staircase. And he decides that he's going to kill his wife, Billy. And it's so funny because he knows every time somebody gets close to this crate, the monster, Fluffy, pops out and just tears them to shreds until his wife he's trying to get his wife killed. And so he goes, there's been an incident, and
he writes
there's
a note.
Girl, right? There's a girl hiding underneath the stairs and she won't come out.
Yeah, he writes a note and says, look, I got to go to the university. There's been an accident. And then, it tells his wife that you might want to come. And she comes to the university. He's like, look, I don't know what happened, but there's a girl that's under the stairs. She was attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes off
the student was assaulted, and I need to go to, maybe if you talk to her, maybe she'll come out. Right. That's what he tells his wife. Yeah. She's not, I think she might be better if she, heard it from a woman to come out. And, so that's kind of like how he gets her under the staircase.
Well, he kind of forces her there. She's like, I'm not going in there. And he's like, yeah, you are. And he goes in there and he throws her in there. And then she starts belittling him again as she's leaning up against the crate.
Yeah, she's like,
good for nothing.
You're a terrible husband. You're a terrible lover. You're a terrible lover. And then but it won't come out. So finally he's like grabbing her and shaking her and banging her up against the crate. Like, come out. He's banging her up against the crate.
Ding dong, DoorDash is here.
Right? I know. He's like, what do you got to do to get this monster to attack? And finally the monster pops out. They do a great scene. One of my favorite scenes is when the monster pops out. Fluffy pops out. You see his big old teeth.
Yep.
You see he's like this first ape. And that's like the first time you really see him full on. Just rah. He attacks her. And that scared me because they like freeze it comic book style. The whole screen goes red. The whole camera goes red.
Well, I have a question after this. So here's what I didn't understand. So you see the husband, he goes out into the hallway. He opens up the window. He like just jumps out the window. And I'm thinking, is this high up or something? Did he just commit suicide because he killed his wife?
I know.
But no, that's not true.
No.
Because how this episode ends, him and a buddy, or is it just him? No, I think it's two
I
of
think
them,
it's him and a buddy. Yeah.
The one guy
this thing's heavy.
Yeah, so they put it basically on the back of the truck. And they take it to this giant cliff and they throw this thing over the side of the cliff. And I think the best part of the episode is as it jumps into the water and falls down, you see the eyes of the Fluffy, the monster, and then it freezes again. And that's just so cool.
It is, man. Yeah, he throws him. He and his friend Dexter, they throw him overboard. The crate sinks to the bottom, but he's still alive.
He kind of reminds me of My Pet Monsters. Do you remember those? The My Pet Monsters stuffed animals?
Yeah, they were like purple and had big hairy arms.
And they, like yellow eyes. That's what he kind of looked like.
Jeez, I hope not. I hope not. There is 5 parts to this anthology, and so our last story is entitled "They're Creeping Up on You."
Oh, I bet Bond loves this one. Is this one creepy, Bond?
No, I really didn't like this one that much. I wanted to like it. I guess I'm just not grossed out by roaches.
Yeah.
I'm not really that grossed out by roaches. Okay, so this one stars E.B. Marshall. E.B. Marshall, what I thought was great was he is the president of the United States in the Superman 2 movie.
Yep.
And so I was like, hey, say what you will. That guy goes on to become president. He's a jerk. In this movie, he plays Upson Pratt. Upson Pratt is a super rich germaphobe. He lives in this exclusive penthouse with the utmost security. I'm thinking he's got some kind of space age technology. If you're talking 1982 version of a smart home, he's got it. He's got a little button you press and it tells the time. It'll say the time out loud. He's got a little vacuum that sucks up trash, and I don't know where the trash goes, but he just presses a little button and all of a sudden there's this high intensity vacuum that he could put anything in the vacuum, a tissue, a roach, and just sucks it down.
I kind of got the feeling of like when COVID was around because he was wearing the mask too.
Yeah, he's a germaphobe.
Yeah.
Definitely a germaphobe. Well, he's doing some hostile takeover work. And so the episode, it's kind of like The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill in the fact that he holds 90% of the scenes himself. He's pretty much the only one in this episode. There's the voices of a few characters. There is I think there's a guy who comes to the door.
Yeah.
The guys are like, I can get the exterminator over here tomorrow kind of thing. And they talk through the wall.
Did you like how they talked through like the peephole and the camera angle was like showing the guy's nose or his eye?
No, I don't understand that.
I don't either. That was kind of stupid.
Yeah. And I was like, so in the future or in the space age technology, peepholes get worse? I don't understand. I was like, why are we looking at this?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So the whole episode is talking about how he's doing this hostile takeover. He apparently has killed a guy because the company that he took over, the ex-CEO of the old company, got so stressed out that he had a heart attack and died. And he's got an argument going on with the widow.
Yeah.
Right? But meanwhile, the whole time he's having these conversations, there's cockroaches in his germ-free apartment. And so he'll crush one, he'll chase one, and there's just these little bitty cockroaches everywhere all around. Are you freaked out by cockroaches at all?
I mean, I don't want to be covered in them, but I mean, I heard they're kind of a delicacy.
Oh, well, I wouldn't eat one.
You wouldn't eat one?
I see one.
Yes, you would.
Is it chocolate covered? Is it like
it doesn't matter.
Hot sauce?
Just throw some sauce on there or some salt on there and like Indiana Jones at the Temple of Doom. Remember the gigantic
pop it? I'm gonna pop off the wings and suck up the middle.
I mean, 1 or 2 is not bad, but I mean, they had a lot of cockroaches. And you know what? They were real, according to my notes. Are you ready for this?
Hey, go ahead, man.
So the live roaches were partially provided by the American Museum of Natural History. As George Romero relayed during an event in a 2015 fan expo in Canada, the insects were the most expensive part of the filming. So of the whole movie. So he said that the cockroaches cost 50 cents a piece. And they used more than 250,000 of them for a grand total of $125,000 on cockroaches alone. Bond, did you give us the budget for this movie?
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that because roughly in 1982, you can take that amount of money and triple it for today's money. So you're talking about, $400,000 or $500,000 worth of cockroaches.
Well,
were any cockroaches harmed in the making?
Oh, I'm sure there were, but how many? What was the budget of this film?
Okay, so the budget of this film in 1982 was $8 million.
Okay, so I guess that's not too bad for 125,000 on cockroaches.
True.
But that's a lot, though.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money for cockroaches.
Yeah.
Right. As I was watching it, I was like, okay, those are fake, but those three are real.
Yeah, I'm sure they threw in a couple of rubber ones in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was thinking that most of the ones when they show them all together, all rubber, and they throw a couple live ones because that's where your eyes are supposed to follow the ones that are moving, and then the other ones are kind of just fake.
Do you think he actually killed the ones with like the aerosol can and stepping on the ones? Do you think those were real?
I think he did. I think he really killed like some, because you can't train a roach to like lay on its back. Right? He sprays it, it like gets on its back and it stays there. So I can't get my pets to do tricks. There's no way I could train a cockroach to like play dead. So I'm impressed. I knew that there was a lot of live cockroaches in this one. Okay, so my question to you is, as I was watching this as an adult, do you think that the cockroaches were real or were they in his imagination?
I think they were all in his mind is what I came away with.
Thank you. Yes, that's what I thought too.
Because at the end,
a kid, yeah,
they all disappear.
Exactly.
But what about the practical effect of when the cockroaches start coming out of his mouth and then like start gnawing their way through his throat? Neck. Oh man, that's a rough scene to watch.
That's a hard one, man. I think this is a great story if you have a fear of cockroaches or creepy crawlies or you're a germaphobe. I know a lot of people that over the years, I've known a lot of people that if they just see a cockroach, they're like, they scream, they run away. They can't be in the same room as a cockroach. So I know that this episode would have definitely like scared them.
But what did they say? Like, not even an atomic bomb can kill a cockroach. Ain't that what they say?
Yeah. That's what they say. I mean, they're supposed to outlive us all, man.
Yeah.
I don't think they react to radiation or something, so they should outsurvive us.
You've heard of Batman. Now here's Roach Man.
the Roach. So he as an adult, I was watching that one going, I don't think there's any roaches in the room. No one else ever says or sees a roach.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only other person that actually comes to the door is never allowed in the building or in his apartment.
Yep.
Because as far as the door, it says, I'll send somebody out. And not only that, but he says he's going to send somebody out sarcastically. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is not the first time
like he cries wolf all the time.
Yeah, he cries roach. And they come in, they pretend to spray. Here you go. It's all clean now. You shouldn't see any more roaches.
Well, not only that, but he's got the sealed off room. Then he's got the room within the room. Like the glass.
Yeah, he's got like a danger room.
Yeah.
Right?
But he's got
a panic room.
Yeah.
He's got a clear panic room, which defeats the purpose.
Right. Do you know who was originally slated to play that guy?
No, who was supposed to be in that role?
Rumored that Max von Sydow was originally scheduled to play him.
That would have been actually pretty good.
Been really good.
I think he would have pulled it off beautifully. So one of the voices that calls him, because he's talking to about the hostile takeover, is none other than Ned Beatty. Ned Beatty is one of the voices that call him up. It's uncredited role, but one of the voices, the voice of Bob Bean.
I like Ned Beatty, man. Underrated
Beatty,
actor. Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that when I watched it, but I knew it the second time. So, Ned, if you think Ned Beatty and you hear his voice on the phone call, then you can tell it's him.
Yeah.
But if you're not expecting it, you're not going to know, hey, that's Ned Beatty. But I just thought that was so cool, man. I was like, he has a heart attack? Is he attacked by roaches? How does he die?
I think he's just scared to death. That's what I think.
They just scare him to death, and he's dead. The next thing you know, boom, roaches are crawling out of his neck. He's just nasty. The show ends.
No,
They
it
go
doesn't.
back. They go back to the little boy, right? Because in the garbage, the next morning, the garbage is out. The trash collectors come, and they're there to pick up. And sure enough, what do they find? Creepshow comic.
Do you know who one of the garbage collectors were?
One of the garbage collector.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini, our legendary special effects artist, played Garbage Man #2. Right. And so it's really cool. Oh, one of the things that we didn't mention was who played the little boy? Who was the little boy who's got his comic book taken away?
Now, you're not going to believe this. You might think I'm joking.
Hey, you just gave away the answer.
I was. It was Joe King, which was Stephen King's son.
Stephen King's son plays
Don't
Billy
tell me
Hopkins.
Stephen King doesn't have a sense of humor. Name his son Joe King. Okay.
Why do you think Joe King changes his name to Joe Hill as an adult? There's a reason. But he does play the little boy, which I thought was pretty cool, man.
Right. So what happens at the end of the show? They find the Creepshow magazine in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
What happens inside the house? The dad says, "I'm going to go."
One of the really cool things is they show some of the ads as they're flipping through. And it's got the classic comic book ads, man. It's got the X-ray specs,
glasses,
right? It's got the Charles Atlas strongman. Don't be a wimp at the beach kind of thing. It's got an advertisement for a voodoo doll.
Yep.
Right. You could actually get a voodoo doll,
which that plays a part in the end. Of the movie.
Because if you pay attention, you'll see that the order form for the voodoo doll
clipped out
has been cut out. It's been clipped. Dun, dun, dun. Right. Well, inside the house, the dad is complaining about a stiff neck. Right. Something's wrong. His neck's bothering him. He figures he must have strained it or something. But you find out Billy has sent away for the voodoo doll and decorated it with a piece of his father's clothes and some of his father's hair. Stan, the dad, clutches his throat in pain as Billy repeatedly and gleefully jabs the voodoo doll in the throat with a pin.
Yep.
To get revenge. So does that make him like the most evil person in this whole movie?
Probably. Or is the dad just evil and he got what he deserved?
Did you notice that at the end, Billy jabbing the doll with the pin is the cover of Creepshow #2, the second issue?
Yep.
Right? So he's holding that comic book and he's laughing, right? The creep from the Creepshow is laughing as he's holding up a comic book that has little Billy jabbing a voodoo doll in the throat.
So cool.
That is so scary.
I actually have a animatronic from last Halloween I found on clearance of the actual Crypt Keeper with the Creepshow magazine in his hand. So it's really cool. But I'm going to go ahead.
I was going to say, I just love this. I love this movie. It's cheesy. It's fun. I still think there's scary parts. I still think when they come out of the water, it's scary. I still think when the monster in the crate comes out, it's scary.
Oh, yes. But let's talk about some trivia. It may even get scarier for you.
All right. Wait, before we do that, here is the budget and how much this movie made. This movie was made, like I said before, $8 million. In today's money, it's about $26 million.
It made a lot of money. I know that.
It made $21 million, which is only $69 million today. So it tripled its budget, I guess. Not quite tripled its money. It made a little money. I was disappointed it wasn't a bigger hit.
Yeah.
But what you got in the world of trivia?
Well, Leslie Nielsen, he's all serious in between action, right? But he had a fart machine in his pocket during shooting. Okay. So he would let it go off during rehearsals, and just before director George A. Romero would call action, causing Ted Danson and the crew to crack up with laughter. So I could see him doing something stupid like that. This was the only George Romero film to open up at #1 at the weekend box office. So I thought that was very interesting.
Whoa.
Rice Krispies were used as maggots on the corpse eyes in the first story, Father's Day. In addition, real maggots were also utilized. So, all right, Bond, we didn't ask you, but what prop piece are you taking from this Creepshow?
Let's assume you can't take the comic book.
Okay.
Because if not, we're both just going to be fighting over the comic, and then it'll be ripped in half and it'll be worthless. Man, that's a hard one. What am I going to take for this one? Do I want the cake that's like the head?
The head?
That birthday cake that's a head? No, I'm going to take the crate.
Okay.
I want the crate.
I am going to take the marble ashtray because the marble ashtray was in all 5 parts of this anthology. So if you look closely enough, number 1 in Father's Day, it's obvious where she gets beat over the head. Number 2, in The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill, it's next to the cash box at the Department of Meteors. And number 3, something to tide you over on the nightstand next to Richard's bed. And the crate, it's on the writing desk when Henry writes the letter to Wilma. And 5, they're creeping up on you, the soap dish where Upson Pratt is washing his hands. And then the wraparound story on Billy's desk when he first starts stabbing the voodoo doll. So the ashtray was snuck in there in all of them. Yep. The on-set nickname for the monster in the crate of the movie's 4th story was Fluffy, as we've alluded to. It was named by George Romero. The creature's creator and makeup artist of the entire film, Tom Savini, was the shorter garbage man featured near the movie's ending. Stephen King was told to play Geordi like Wile E. Coyote, the way he looks up when he goes off a cliff. So he kind of looks like that. But Fluffy was the first fully animatronic creature Tom Savini had created. He spent over an hour and a half on the phone with Rob Bottin, who was the effects artist from The Thing, The Howling, and Total Recall, getting advice on how to build it. So good for him. During a break in filming, Stephen King took his son to a McDonald's, and as a joke, Joe was made up with bruises, cuts, and scabs. The girl at the drive-thru window called the police when she saw him. And he's like, no, I'm Joe King. The music playing on Upson Pratt's jukebox at the beginning of They're Creeping Up on You is the same instrumental that plays over the ending credits of The Evil Dead in 1981. Stephen King had an allergic reaction to the makeup he had to wear for Jordy Verrill's transformation. He was subjected to shots and medications so the work would be bearable. So Warner Brothers, this is an unusual strategy they tried for the release of this film. They booked several theaters in the Boston, Massachusetts area during July 1982 and saw the film did great sales and had strong word of mouth, and then ended the limited run. Then they moved the film from its planned early October 1982 release to early November. Why? Because they concluded that the main rival horror film of that period, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, would open strongly and then fade quickly. Because Universal planned to release their film right before Halloween, which is totally understandable, Warner Brothers guessed that the horror film market would be open for a new film soon afterward and felt that Creepshow would do considerable business for the final months of 1982, and they were correct.
I think actually that's perfect. That's exactly when you want to release it, because it's not serious horror. It's a comedy.
Right. And Father's Day, Aunt Bedelia's father came to life after she spilled whiskey on his grave. In Irish, the word for whiskey is translated as water of life. So I thought that was funny. Stephen King and George Romero were good friends and always wanted to work with each other on a film. This was their opportunity, so they took it. This is the only George Romero film where he didn't write the screenplay. We talked about that already. Oh, so Stephen King carried a toy figure of the character Greedo from Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope on the Creepshow set for good luck, so he had a Greedo. John Amplas, star of George Romero's contemporary vampire film Martin in 1977, makes an appearance as Nathan Zombie. The crew was also the crew for the Sleepaway Camp movie in 1983, according to Jonathan Tiersten. So let's see here. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you caught this, Bond, but it was probably a homage to John Carpenter's The Thing. The crate, discovered in the 4th segment of this, has ships or shipped to Horlicks University via Julia Carpenter, Arctic Expedition, June 19, 1834. So they're thinking it's a nod to John Carpenter's The Thing.
I like that. Arctic Carpenter. I get it.
Yep. Stephen King would put one of the latex tongues in his mouth and, as a practical joke, stick it out at the unsuspecting people.
Mhm.
The world's largest collection of original Creepshow memorabilia belongs to the Creepshow Museum and is located in Louisiana. I would love to see that. I think that would be great.
I wonder why it's in Louisiana. That's weird.
Right. Hal Holbrook and Adrienne Barbeau appeared in The Fog in 1980, but they didn't share any scenes together. All right, Bond, there's a lot of actors in this that also appeared in the TV show The Twilight Zone. So Fritz Weaver and Don Kiefer, who shared the scenes in the crate, are alumni of the classic television series The Twilight Zone. Kiefer in the episode It's a Good Life, Weaver in the episodes The Obsolete Man and Third from the Sun. John Lorman, who was Nathan Grantman in the Father's Day segment, appeared in 4 of the classic series episodes: Execution, Dust, The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank, and Jess Bell. So I thought that was really cool. ADZ is going to get a kick out of that.
Wow, that's cool.
Yep. In Something to Tide You Over episode, Richard Vickers has an aquarium in his home where a lionfish is seen. You remember that scene, lionfish?
I do remember that one.
Well, remember in The Naked Gun from the Files of the Police Squad, Frank Drebin kills Vincent Ludwig's lionfish by accident.
with the pin that can't get wet.
Yep. Stephen King and Tom Savini were the only 2 actors to appear in both Creepshow movies. I thought that was cool because there is a Creepshow 2, which might be better than this one in my personal opinion. It's more scary.
Creepshow 2 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. So Ted Danson, who played Harry Wentworth in Something to Tide You Over, and said in a television interview that his daughter was on the set during the scene where his character returns from the dead encased in rotting flesh and seaweed. He purposefully tried avoiding his young daughter out of fear of scaring her. Finally, despite his best efforts, she went up to him, looked at him, and simply said, "Oh, hi, Daddy."
Oh, so I was more scared of Ted Danson than she was.
Oh, yeah. According to Tom Savini, when Fluffy breaks out of the crate, once it's dumped in the water, the remains of Billy, who was played by Adrienne Barbeau, were supposed to float out of the crate. However, it was deleted. That would have just been really creepy. And last but not least, Don Kiefer's character, who was Mike the janitor, is last seen disappearing into the box. He's the one that gets sucked up into the box, right?
Okay.
This echoes his last scene in the Twilight Zone episode It's a Good Life, where he was turned into a jack-in-the-box before being wished away by the young boy. All right,
Very
Bond,
cool.
give me your thoughts, feelings, and ratings for Creepshow.
All right. Well, first off, I have 2 pieces of trivia. One, it's Something to Tide You Over. There's a man on the television. That man is an uncredited Richard Gere. Also, in the crate, Christine Forrest plays Tabitha Raymond. Christine Forrest is George Romero's wife.
Huh.
So his wife comes out in that one. I love this movie. I think Creepshow is it's a classic. It's lighthearted. It's really hard to balance comedy and horror. Either it comes off as so gory that it's not funny, or it comes off so funny it's not really that scary. I think this one does a great job of balancing that. I think it's because you have Romero and King working together.
And Tom Savini with the special effects, too.
The special effects push it over the edge for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there's a couple parts I can't give it a really, really high score because of Stephen King's role. He should have got an actor to play that scene. I know they probably thought they could save some money on that one. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that I noticed. There's only 2 types of stories out of 5 anthology stories. There's The Lonesome Death of Jody Verrill and They're Creeping Up on You is the same story. It's about an infestation that overtakes the soul person. It's like they both get infested. One's infested by an alien moss. the other one by cockroaches. That's the same story.
Mm-hmm.
The other three, Father's Day, Something to Tide You Over the Crate, that's the same story. Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
They're all revenge stories. And so seeing that, I don't know, man. I'm giving it a 7.
Would you call
still pretty high?
Would you call The Little Boy with the Voodoo Doll a revenge story too?
Yeah, to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it that way, they're just saying they're telling the same story over again in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's a monster in the crate. This time you are the monster coming back from the sea, as opposed to you being the monster coming back from the grave. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I give this one 6.5, 7 out of 10 because it's still above average.
Oh yeah.
The special effects alone, the fact that it looks like a comic book when you're watching it on purpose, those kind of things push it over the edge. I'm thinking I'm gonna round it up to 7.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you, Bond. I think it's right around 7, maybe 7.5. I love the, they're not like normal colors. They're those comic book colors. You know what I mean? They're kind of like multifaceted, and the way that he frames them and during the stories. I'm a big comic book guy. So are you, I know. So it's good to see that art portrayed into movies more. This has an all-star cast in it, and in every episode, there's somebody really famous. Yeah, the Stephen King episode may be a little, I don't know, cheesy. It's really goofy, if that's the word I'm looking for. It's goofy. It's not just comedy. It's just straight goofy. But then you come out with Fluffy, and it has, some pretty crazy parts too, where the guy just dreams about killing his wife for half the episode, and then he actually kills her. It's just very, very interesting how they put the whole thing together. I know that there's been a sequel to this. There might even be a third one I think I saw, but there's also a TV series that just came out. I want to say in 2019. Don't mark my words on that, but I haven't checked that out. But it's updated with some new stories, so maybe I'll check that out. But yeah, I'm right there with you about probably 7.5. So we went a little long, and we do apologize. But when Jerry meant so much to me and to Bond, we want to make sure that we give you guys something to listen to over this Halloween season. Because Jerry looked forward to this every year, and he made sure to contact all of his friends, all of his podcast friends, and ask them if they wanted to be part on here, because he just loved helping people. And I know if he was here today, we'd still be carrying on doing the same thing that we did. So, hey, if anybody out there is struggling with anything, any depression, abuse, anything, please seek out and get some help. I'm sure Tim will put in the suicide hotline at the beginning of this episode, as Jerry always used to do, and thank all the military servants. And we're just happy to be a small part of that. So, Bond, with that being said, we want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. We think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.
Memories shimmer, join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer, join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. Those we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer,